The stars flickered like distant embers, cold and indifferent, as the War Council's transmission buzzed to life. Static hissed before stabilizing, revealing the hard-lined face of Commander Elias Rourke. His eyes, sharp as fractured glass, scanned the faces before him. "Attention all personnel." His voice carried the weight of iron and urgency. As of 0400 hours, the Zorvan Collective has declared total war on humanity. Their fleets are en route. We have less than 12 hours. Silence followed. Not the stunned kind, but the grim, focused quiet of people who'd seen too much to be surprised. No one needed a reminder of the Zorvans' reputation. Bioengineered perfection. No flaws, no hesitation, no mercy. Their conquests were clinical. Entire species reduced to footnotes in galactic history. Humanity, it seemed, was next. Lieutenant Arlen Voss sat in the dim glow of the command deck. His jaw tight, eyes locked on the tactical display. Dozens of red markers swarmed toward a lone blue dot soul. Fragile as glass in a storm of knives. His fingers curled into fists on the armrests of his chair. "We're not ready for this," murmured Ensign Kira Holt from the station beside him. She glanced at him, her usual sarcastic edge gone. "This wasn't supposed to happen for another 2 years. Fleet Command said we had time." "Fleet Command was wrong," Arlen replied, never looking away from the display. "Doesn't matter. We fight with what we have." His gaze shifted to the maintenance log on his screen. Ship after ship flagged 4 critical repairs pending. Half the fleet was still refitting after a pirate skirmish in the Epsilon Verge. It was bad timing. Worse than bad. But it wasn't new. Humanity never fought on even ground. The bridge comms crackled as Commander Rourke's voice cut through. "You know what's coming. You know who they are. I won't lie. Most of you won't live to see the other side of this. But listen well, we are not the species that lays down. They think they know us. They don't. They think war is mathematics, ships, weapons, numbers. They're wrong." A murmur of agreement rolled through the bridge. No cheers. No roars of bravado. Just the steady hum of resolve hardening into something unbreakable. Arlen tapped a series of commands into his console. His heart thudded slow and steady as he transferred reactor power to the point defense grids. His voice was low, measured, as if he were giving orders to himself. "Run system diagnostics on all forward batteries. If it moves, I want it gone before it blinks." Kira's hands moved with quiet precision, her eyes sharp with purpose. "Already on it. Rerouting auxiliary power to shield capacitors. If they want us, they'll have to burn through hell to get here." "Damn right," Arlen muttered, leaning back, eyes never leaving the swarm of red lights drawing closer. They didn't have the fleet strength, and every simulation said they should lose. But simulations didn't account for one crucial factor. Humans don't know how to quit. Metal groaned under pressure, the ship's frame trembling like a beast under siege. Every jolt sent a fresh shower of sparks raining from the ceiling. The debris field was chaos incarnate. Fractured hulls, jagged asteroid shards, and clouds of metallic dust drifting like fog. Sensors struggled to keep up, painting the tactical display with wild, unpredictable movement. "Proximity alert. Debris incoming on vectors 9-5 and 1-8. Kira's voice was sharp, her hands flying over the console. "We need thruster control now." "Negative," Arlen barked, gripping his chair's armrests as the Sovereign Dawn rolled hard to avoid a tumbling asteroid chunk the size of a shuttle. "No course corrections. Let inertia do the work." Kira's head whipped toward him. "We're flying blind, Voss." "Good," he said, eyes locked on the tactical display. "That makes 2 of us." The Zorvan ships were closing in, slower now, more cautious. Their cold, calculated approach had shifted. No more flawless formations. They moved like predators uncertain of their prey. Arlen saw it in the staggered intervals between their movements, the extra seconds they spent scanning the wreckage ahead. They were second-guessing. Hesitation. "Chief, talk to me," Arlen called into the comms. How fast can you reconfigure the forward torpedo guidance? Depends on what you're asking for, Darrow replied. His voice strained. The sound of tools clanging echoed in the background. You want precision, it's 5 minutes. You want fast, I can give you 30 seconds, but you won't like it. I don't need precise, I need unpredictable. Tie guidance to collision algorithms and randomize the trajectories, Arlen ordered. Darrow gave a low, grim chuckle. You're one crazy bastard, Voss. But I like it. Don't fall in love just yet, Arlen muttered, wiping sweat from his brow. Load all tubes, staggered intervals, and fire on my mark. He watched the Zorvan formation on the tactical display. They weren't charging. They were waiting. Calculating. He knew what they were thinking. Human ship hiding in a debris field. Is it desperate? Is it clever? Is it both? They wouldn't act until they had certainty. Come on, Arlen whispered, eyes locked on their lead cruiser. Pick a move. They did. The Zorvans advanced in a trident formation, sweeping the field with synchronized sensor bursts, disrupting the debris clouds to create clean firing lanes. It was slow, methodical, and efficient. It was also exactly what he'd been counting on. Darrow now. 6 torpedoes launched from the Sovereign Dawn, their trails flickering through the cloud of wreckage. But instead of the clean, straight trajectories the Zorvans expected, the torpedoes veered wildly. Some spun into debris, detonating in flashes of shrapnel. Others ricocheted off asteroid chunks at chaotic angles. One torpedo looped in a full arc, coming back from behind like a predator striking from the shadows. Multiple impacts. Kira shouted, her eyes darting from one display to the next. They're breaking formation. The Zorvans scattered, their synchronized precision fracturing as each ship moved to avoid the erratic torpedoes. It wasn't panic, Zorvans didn't panic, but it was something close. Cut the engines, Arlen ordered, his voice cold and calm. Cutting engines. Kira hesitated. You want to drift? I want them to think we're dead, Arlen said, eyes sharp as ever. No lights, no movement. Just another broken piece of wreckage. The ship's hum faded as the engines powered down. The Sovereign Dawn floated silently among the wreckage. No heat signature. No movement. Seconds crawled by, and for a moment, it felt like even time had stopped. The Zorvan ships slowed, their predatory patience returning. They scanned the debris, seeking signs of life. But there was nothing. Just floating wreckage. Arlen watched them. He saw the lead cruiser tilt slightly, scanning the field with slow, deliberate intent. Calculating. Deciding. Come on, he muttered again, fingers tapping slowly on the armrest. The cruiser shifted its trajectory. They think we're dead. Darrow, Arlen said softly. His eyes locked on the lead cruiser. Reboot all systems. Full power. Burn everything. Copy that. Darrow replied with a grin in his voice. The hum returned, low at first, then rising to a roar. Thrusters blazed to life as the Sovereign Dawn surged forward with a sudden, violent burst of speed. Lock all weapons on that cruiser, Arlen ordered. His voice cold as the void. Locked. Fire. The first volley of plasma rounds punched straight through the Zorvan cruiser's exposed flank, and for the first time, the enemy learned what it meant to fear.